Hi, welcome back to another episode of Geekified. You might not have heard from us for quite some time. That's because we're all superheroes. We've had lots of rescues to happen around the planet. We're all busy covering.
Supervillain, Chris. Supervillain.
Don't out me! Don't out me! Come on.
No, me. I'm
You're
Pishman.
supervillain. Oh, yeah, okay. So I was that secret supervillain.
Yeah, I'm Pishman.
Pishman. Yeah. Well, no. If Nathan says it's Pish, it was Pish. But we've been super busy. You might not have seen or heard from us in a while, but we're going nowhere. We're back. The amp is went up. You'll see a lot of us in the next month or so. We've got a lot of stuff coming up really shortly. But we're here for one film you've already seen. You've already seen the tagline, and it is actually, you might not know what it is. That's a lot of the thing. You might actually not know what the tagline of this film is. It's Nicolas Cage. It's not in the tagline, and it's a film called Pig. So Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage is one of the most reputable actors of all time. He has made some of the. I know. I need to say that because he kind of is. He's made a lot of films. He's made a lot of films. It's the best way to put it. He's made a lot of great films. He's made a lot of other films. It's probably the best way to put it. So when you see Nicolas Cage hit your screen and you see Nicolas Cage appear on any sort of film, there's a lot of questions getting flung up these days, like for what he's making. But Pig is a new one. It's where does it hit? Nathan, help me out.
I think it came out about a month ago, 6 weeks. I don't know.
Yeah.
It got a very limited release, so
yeah, very limited release.
I'm not really sure.
Yeah,
I heard about it about 6 months ago originally, and then saw a trailer about 2 months ago, and then finally watched it last week.
Yeah, it's been out for a wee bit now, a bit under the radar. So you more than likely, that's why I introduced this, and you more than likely have probably not heard of the film. But holy crapsticles, how do you describe this film? If you can, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for my description. John Wick meets Kitchen Nightmares, but without the guns.
I was going to say Chef meets John Wick without the guns.
So at least they've got the whole idea of whatever they were making.
Yeah, it's like almost like it was the bit in John Wick at the start of the first one before he starts killing people, and that's the whole film.
Yeah,
in this one, yeah. Not a bad
honestly,
thing, but yeah.
I genuinely don't know how to describe it any better than it's John Wick.
Yeah.
Without the guns, but with a chef. But
yeah.
Brilliant. That's the same as like it sounds like I'm taking the piss out of this film, and I'm not taking the piss out of this film. I am not joking. This is one of the best films I've seen in so long. It's like I'm going to compare it to a couple of the films that probably I think it's me and Nathan did the reviews for. Is I Care a Lot and Promising Young Women. It is up that high with the caliber of films.
Yeah, I'd say so. It's a similar sort of thing, slightly a bit off kilter. Some quite sort of unsettling viewing in it as well. I just like I said to you earlier, it's the fact that it builds so much tension for nothing to happen.
Oh my God.
It's a really clever way of making a movie, and it's all like a parable of him losing his wife and stuff like that, and then the other guy losing his mother, another guy losing his wife, and it's all a sort of a combination of grief and loss, and how people deal with that and stuff like that. But yeah, I think it's like every shot in this movie was like a beautiful watercolor painting by bloody Monet or something. It was just a beautifully shot film. The score on it was phenomenal. It built tension so well. There's some bits in it you suddenly thought it's going to kick off now. And then Nicolas Cage cooked a nice dinner, and the guy cried, and that was it.
I genuinely can't describe this film better than you've just said it. There was like it's nothing happens. It's a story of a pig getting stolen. Like, spoiler alert. So if you don't know this, skip in the next 5 seconds. I'm going to say what's happened. You've been warned. He finds out the pig's dead, and then that's the end of the film.
The thing is, you sort of know the pig's dead at the start because the squealing of the pig at the start is pretty fucking horrific.
Yeah, and then it stops just as they're going away. So obviously they've
I
kind
was
of
watching it
accidentally
going,
bumped it a bit.
At one point, I thought, is it going to be a fucking like horror film? At one point, I thought when that start, where that pig was screaming.
Dude, but that's the thing, is like it's a Nicolas Cage film. So do you truly know what you're ever going to get? Because I genuinely, I pitched it to you guys. I said that this film's coming. Look at this. This is going to be this is John Wick. This is going to be a guy who loses a pig. Turns out he's a fucking assassin, and he's going to come and hunt the guy who stole his pig. Just the same as John Wick, except for pigs.
Just makes duck and ravioli, you know.
But then it doesn't happen, and that's the weird thing. But that's not to say that it's a bad movie, because the entirety of the film was built up so beautifully and so. I don't even know how to describe how good everybody is. It's just this kind of slow burning realization of love.
I think it goes back. I think it sort of, if you go back to sort of probably Con Air, Face Off, Nicolas Cage, and he did like quite a lot of independent sort of American cinema. He did a lot of slightly off the beaten track type movies, and it felt more in that sort of line rather than the nonsense he does a lot of the time now.
Yeah.
But it just shows that the man can still act. You know what I mean? He's probably got less than 100 words in this whole movie, but you know, he's completely captivating the way he plays that character.
See the scene in which him and his new buddy go to that restaurant and talk to the chef that he used to work for.
Yeah, and just unchecking
how freaking prolific is his words that he tells him. I can't remember what they are now. I'll try, and if I can get the clip, I'll run it over the top of this.
Yeah.
Now, if I can't, you're just listening to me going, Murr. But
the thing is, Chris, you're like me. You've worked in the restaurant industry for a long time, and if you work with some really top chefs, I mean, I worked with some top chefs when I was younger, and I met a guy like 10 years later, and I was still a bit scared of him. You know, and that's what scene with the chef. That chef almost starts to sort of unhinge and unravel in the middle of that restaurant just by him going, "Are you sure this is what you want to make?" It's not. Are you sure this is what you want to make? Isn't it? What he says.
He says, "What is it you wanted to make?" I know. I think the best thing he says is like, I was a chef for you," and he was like, "No, I fired you after 2 weeks because you were shit." And he's like, "Oh no, I definitely worked." He's like, no, you were terrible. You couldn't peel a potato or something like that.
You wanted to go and open a pub.
Yeah, that was it. Became an English pub, and he was like, "Is this what you want? Is this what you really want to do?" And just breaks this poor wee chef down to pieces. Every time he gets to the end, and then he's like, gave in. You can tell he's going to open the pub.
The most successful restaurant in the city, and he just destroys the guy.
And he just wants on a pub. But that statement, whoever wrote the script for it shows you right. I mean, the film's stunning. It's very well put together. It looks good. Nicolas Cage, every actor's in it's good, but the script as well. The script is absolutely on point. This scene in which he says this is so.
Yeah.
Like, I watched it and I suddenly just stopped and went, wow, that was so profound. I was genuinely taken back by what he was saying.
Yeah, no, there's one of these rare things you get nowadays. There's no wasted words in it, you know.
Yeah.
There's no. It was everything meant something, you know. Even the bit when he goes to that diner and you're not really sure what's going on in this diner, and it turns out it was his old restaurant, and you know when his wife died, there's some girl that worked for him took over it and stuff like that. It's just really, really really clever. Really, really clever. The way that everything is sort of intertwined and interlinked as well. You know, even the weird.
I think he goes to that girl and says, they're sitting there and they go quiet for a couple of seconds, and he says, "Do you still make the salted baguette?"
Yeah.
And then there's a quiet 2-second pause, and then she just goes, "I still make the salted baguette." And that's it. And then she just gets up and goes off and grabs one of the salted baguettes, wraps it, and then she sits down and he goes, "I need to."
But even the scene in the weird sort of restaurant fight club.
What was that?
When it's just like how long they can last before they stop. You know, it's just.
And do you know what, Nathan? We both, if anyone isn't watching this, we both work for a big restaurant chain, and we both feel the pain of this scene. I want it, and I want it now. I want a restaurant hospitality fight club, because I swear to God, there's so many people I've met in this industry.
Fight Club, is it? It's just like one guy punching the other guy until just see how long he can last.
Yeah, just see how long he can last.
Yeah.
And he's like, I used to have a name. Like, you don't have a name around here anymore. You're like, what is he talking about? What is this? What's happening?
I was
It
waiting
turns out
for.
it was just he used to get his fucking kicked in.
Yeah, I was waiting for Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman from Eyes Wide Shut in the corner or something at that point.
But even that scene, and if I remember right, I probably won't get time to get this clip, but even in that scene, that is in a basement, and the shot comes all the way out, and there's a beautiful chandelier sitting on top of the guy who's doing it all, and a wee table where he's doing it. So it's still even. It's obviously it's a hospitality film. So if you're in the hospitality industry, do you know what? If you're in the hospitality industry, you will love this film because it's based around hospitality, and it's an action movie for hospitality people who've worked in it. He says, but even that shot is amazing.
It's an action, non-action film.
Yeah, it's an action, non-action film. But Jesus, I'm not joking. It's one of the most profound pieces of cinema that I've watched for a wee while. I get that, like things like I Care a Lot was phenomenal and mind-blowing and different, and then Promising Young Woman was almost an activist version of a film telling you a story.
It's like more like that. It's like a really black comedy, wasn't it? Almost.
Yeah, it was dark. It was funny, but it gave you a very, very horrible kind of gut punch of kind of situations that can happen in real life. This film is freaking not going to happen in real life when it comes down to it, but it's managed to ground itself so well. It was incredible. Absolutely shocked.
I love the bit when he gets Nicolas Cage gets so angry when the guy says he's fucked his pig, and he just went, "I didn't fuck my pig."
But I think he's a good few things. He's like,
I love her.
I love her.
But no, he's just and even like I was thinking about this. You know, when it's like a Mandalay production, you have that thing when the lion comes through the thing and you get the slight flashes of colour.
Yeah.
The bits when he's walking through the forest are very like that at the end, especially. It's like the light comes shining through, comes through the branches and stuff. Even a little bit sort of Tarzan-y, the way it's sort of shot as well.
It was. I mean, I'm not joking. There was a couple of shots in it, but I've made a horror film about 15 years ago, and it was it's not even sold. Well, it's sold now, but was shots in that I realised how simple it is. Like now, 15 years later, just to make a really good shot, and it's just this bit of him walking through all these kind of straight kind of pines, and then this beautiful mist that sits across the back, and I was like, that's stunning. And then I was thinking, smoke machine. 3 lights. That's so easy.
I mean, the budget in this film must have just gone on the actors.
Yeah, it must do. Because there was nothing. It didn't have to do anything. Hire out one wee restaurant, hire out a bigger venue, hire out a basement.
Yeah, and a
car park.
Yeah. But what's his name? Adam Arkin?
Alan Arkin.
Alan Arkin. As the dad of the guy, he was phenomenal in this as well. I thought he was like, this came across as this hard man, and this one meal turns him into fucking mush. You know what I mean? It's just.
I mean, how can you do that? I mean, like, how can you? I don't know how do you write this? I want to talk to the writer. I'm going to put this episode out, and I'm literally going to tweet the writer of this because I want to talk to you about your writing skills. Are phenomenal. How do you manage to have?
Is it I meant to look up and I forgot. Was it an original screenplay or is it an adapted from a book? Or
it must be an original screenplay. I'm assuming it's an original screenplay. But this writer, whatever you've done, he, she, whatever. Honest to God, you're a genius of writing because that first scene where we meet the dad, I was scared. You know what I mean? I was like, this. Oh, holy shit! Man, this guy's terrifying.
Bit gangstery, wasn't he?
Yeah. Proper gangster, and then the next scene you manage to get him a wee bit kind of still terrifying. He's just sitting ignoring his son, and then dinner, and then you're like, oh God, he's just going to pull out like a gun and pistol his son in the face, or he's going to smash his face up, and then he just has dinner and has a good old greet.
Yeah. And he's like, how did you do it? How did you do it? Nicholas, what's Nicolas Cage's line? I remember every meal I've ever cooked for anybody. I was like, what? Yeah.
But that's the same. It's like, I remember every horrible human being that's ever complained in my restaurant. Every one of them. Every single person that's ever complained in my restaurant. I know their face.
Chris, that's a secret cameras, though, isn't it? They can come to our Fight Club, I tell you.
Really, and honestly, I'm not gonna forget this. I want a hospitality fight club. I want people for Cafe Andalus to fight me at the end of the night on a Saturday. I dare you, Indy for Cafe Andalus sees this. I dare you. Come into my restaurant. I want a scrap.
Can you imagine they get you on a night when it's been a bad shift as well?
Dude, every shift's a bad shift now. We're filming this in the middle of the hospitality industry absolute collapse of no chefs, no front of house, no food, no wine, no beer. I will square go The Rock.
And Hunter's
And just everybody wants dinner. Everyone's in like, can I get a table for 18? Is that okay? No, it's not okay. It's not happening.
You can, but there's no chips.
There's no chips, there's no pasta, there's no sauce, there's no wine. Can do you a case of Peroni and some pasta crisps.
Pretty much.
That's it. True story.
Aye. But yeah, no, Pig, phenomenal.
Yeah, genuinely surprised. I was I walked in expecting John Wick and then got like this heartwarming, amazing, moving film.
Yeah, it's just like I said, it's only about an hour and 20 and an hour and 25.
It's not long, that. Yeah.
And I thought it was building and building and building and building, and you got to the bit when you go into that guy's house and you think it's gonna kick off now. It's gonna kick off. Greet. He greets a wee bit, and then he goes back to his cabin. And it was like he says to the young guy, "I'll see you Thursday."
Yep. You come on Thursday? Yeah, cool. I'll pick it up. 15 truffles. Cool. I'll find it. Don't need the pig anymore. It's fine. Cool. Catch you later. End of story. Like...
But you know what caught my attention was right at the very start, which makes sense when you watch it all the way end. When he just gets the shovel, the knife, dirt, eats it a wee bit. And I was like, what the f*** is he doing? And in the end, he explains it. He doesn't need the pig to find truffles. It's just his companion.
It's his companion.
He finds him. Yeah. Fucking
genius.
mental. Yeah.
Absolute genius. And Nicolas Cage is anything but done. Anyone who ever says Nicolas Cage's career is kind of done, he's doing shit, he's not, because he's just done one of the most prolific movies that I've seen in the past couple of years. It's literally in my top 10 just now.
I'd say his performance is definitely up there with the best ones. I like a quirky, odd film, as you know, Chris, and this is right up in my wheelhouse. Not type of film you could watch every day, but every now and again something like this, it just blows you away. Just with none of this Hollywood. Let's not make a sexy movie. Let's not conform to stereotype. Let's just make what we want to make and make it look great and have some great acting in it. And that's all it was really. It's very, very, like I said, very moving. It was suspenseful, even though nothing happened.
That's the amazing thing.
A wee bit odd, but that's fine for me. I can't wait for Pig 2.
I hope it is. I genuinely hope it is. Or maybe it's Pig just 2. Like him, like bacon being sold over the counter on Morrison's.
No, Pig 2. This time it's a hog.
Genuinely, I'm genuinely going to add. I don't do this very often. I'm going to add a tweet on our Geekified page just to put in the director, the writer, anyone who's involved in this, just to say thank you for such a wonderful film. Genuinely,
10 out of 10.
Yeah, 100%, 10 out of 10 for me. Yeah, I don't know what you could have done to make this film any better, apart from my expectations, which were completely wrong.
I think there's a caveat to make though. I don't think this film's for everybody. I think there's a lot of people who probably think it's utter pish, but no, it's not. It's if you're a film lover and a bit of a cinephile, you'll definitely like this.
Yeah, I'm confident in that. I completely agree with Nathan on that. If you really enjoy cinema, you enjoy different types of cinema, as in action, really small independent budgets, really big things, Marvel, DC, all that stuff. If you enjoy that sort of stuff, you'll really, really, really enjoy us, and thank us for pointing you to this.
Do you think we're getting to a stage now with sort of the American action cinema that we're getting a sort of diversified version of action? So we had things like this. We had Nobody. We've had obviously John Wick started it all. A few other ones coming out as well, where they're slightly different action movies, and maybe we're seeing a sort of subgenre developing. Maybe
Yeah, is this a category action without the action? Because that's what it felt like.
Yeah, I mean, even Nobody, which is a great movie. I mean, it's not like heavy action. It's more to do with I mean, it's a phenomenal film as well. But it's a very just seems to be this sort of subculture of everyday man kicks a in people.
Yeah,
Um,
I've got so many beeps.
and
There's a lot of cheese and all that.
but whatever.
Ah,
Um,
yeah.
but
I
yeah,
can get pitching.
I think I think there seems to be a slight diversification. I think people maybe it's a bit like what we've seen in sort of going back to sort of the culinary thing, where people are a bit more open to slightly different things with regards
Yeah.
to food now. Maybe that's we're getting that way with cinema because there's so much content now.
Yeah. Do you know one thing I do want to talk about to the writer, whoever done this, or director, I don't know who was kind of involved in this, is where did you work? That's what I want to know.
It was somewhere really, really bad.
Yeah, I want to know, was it a Weatherspoons
Or a harvester, yeah.
or a Harvester? If you're not from the UK, was it a Cheesecake Factory?
Maybe an Arby's.
An Arby's. So I just want to know. I'm going to tweet you. Doesn't matter who you are. I'm going to tweet you when you add this. I want these questions answered. And if you do manage to get a chance to watch Pig, please watch it. Honestly, it's a tremendous film. If you're not into slow kind of burning movies, don't watch it. Honestly, please don't. It's not your cup of tea. We'll always say that on Geekified. Even if we slag something, you might still love it, and it might still be your type of film.
I mean, Army of the Dead, after all. No, Christoph was great. It was pish.
You 10 out of 10.
No.
Sequel, anime, TV series. Your review was pish.
No, the film was pish.
Says the guy who wants to go to the VR experience of Army of the Dead.
That's VR. That's shooting zombies. That's quite. That's a game.
Okay. Well, that was our review. We've had a good month off, but we'll be back a lot over the next coming weeks. Over the next week, we're launching Geekified Music, where we'll be talking about all the music that's hitting out. We are going to be doing Fan Film Friday, where we are going to look at the top 10 films made of the fan world. Could be absolutely anything. We've got Street Fighter, we've got Mortal Kombat, we've got everything in between, Lara Croft and Star Wars. And we're going to be doing an award ceremony for that and giving them a rather hefty reward for the winner of the top 10. So all that's coming up. I hope you've enjoyed seeing us again. If you have, please give us a wee thumbs up and share. But thank you, Nathan. It was amazing to see you again after a cold, long, hard month.
No bother, mate.
Awesome. And we'll hopefully see you in the next video. So we can do this all day.